All right, Scorp. So this week from Le Vampire, you pulled faith, trust, unwavering, and confidence. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled wisdom, which Libra pulled wisdom as well. And it's funny because when it came out, I thought, no, I need to shuffle better. And then it flew out. So yes, Scorpio is supposed to hear this. Now, faith from Le Vampire, the blessing. Your faith returns and you feel a true connection and comfort in your choices and plans. They are supported by the energy of the universe. And then working with this card says if you have lost faith in a person, project, or humanity itself, it is time to examine the source of the faith. Know that it can be revived, and this time you may choose where you place this most beautiful and tender of faiths. So having some faith returned, but then also needing to have some wisdom. Now, wisdom from Chakra Wisdom, the quote for this card says that wisdom is knowing the difference between a calculated risk and stupidity. But what I love about this is a part that I don't usually read, which is the legend. Part of the legend says, we must learn from our mistakes. Before you worry about something, ask yourself if it will be important in the future. Enjoy your present form, as we all change with time. The inspiration says, is there some wise counsel that you have sought only to ignore it? Are you trying to do things alone? A solution may come from those more experienced than yourself. Stay in the present moment and do not let your thoughts jump ahead. The personal question says, do I go with my heart or against it? Am I ready to live in leadership? The key ideas are wise counsel, focused energy, honoring yourself, contribution, being chosen, contentment, and transformation, which is, a word that is synonymous with Scorpio. Now, for a lot of you, this is beautiful energy, having your faith return to you. But then on top of that, receiving some wise counsel. But I think the wisdom there is that it's so important to stay in the present moment. All right, Scorp, here we go. Here's the energy coming through. Woof, man, the hangman. So needing to see things differently, needing that different perspective. And for some of you, it may be one of those situations where you just don't know what to do. Because the hangman, it's clearly saying that you're not sure on what action you need to take. I think I kind of feel good about it. I think maybe it's the right spot to be in now, because what it's saying is it's not that you're not able to take action. It's you're putting yourself in this position right now because you understand that you need to have a different perspective on whatever is happening before you decide clearly to take action. So it feels good to me. Unfortunately, things may not really be happening, but whatever is going on around this, it's basically saying that you need to take a time out here so that you can receive that enlightenment. Oh, yeah, and that makes sense. Jeez, Scorp. So in the past, the moon. Now, traditionally, confusion, chasing illusions, fear, anxiety. I like the moon in terms of, digging deep into the subconscious and pulling out, creativity and beauty from that. But I think for a lot of you, emotional upheaval is what it feels like. Things that are coming to the surface that you're having to face now. And I think you're taking a minute here to just kind of be with the energy that's coming out of this. Again, your intuition and your dreams are going to be so important. Whatever messages you're receiving from the subconscious mind, it's pausing you for a minute and you're really thinking about it, which is good because you're actually paying attention to it. Oh, wow, Scorp, what is up? Man, major energies happening here. Temperance in the present, which is, again, a good energy. Beautiful. What I love about this card is you can see her balancing out the fire and the water, and you see the rainbow, right? Getting that even balance with what is going on with you, the way that you're thinking, the way that you're feeling. And patience, having patience. having the ability to, give yourself a minute to really see all the different things that are coming out of the subconscious mind differently. Wow. Scorp shit. Oh, are you serious? Wow. Man, you guys are not playing around this week. My God. The Hermit in future conditions with the Hangman, yeah, you're taking some time to yourself right now to think about things. And they're major things coming out of, the moon here with whatever emotional upheaval you've dealt with, whatever was surfacing or being illuminated for you. You're not taking any action. You're really starting to think about it. And on a very deep spiritual level. Wow. The answers are there. They are within, right? I mean, yes, they are within, and you know this. And you're slowing down for a minute and really, really seriously looking at things differently. My God. Okay. Your best path to follow. What is that about? With all this major stuff going on, really? And the Five of Pentacles is your best path to follow. It is telling you that whatever difficulties you're facing, whatever hardships, difficult times, it's temporary. It's only temporary. These energies are not permanent. If you're dealing with financial strain, now is the time to just kind of settle down and start thinking about how to correct those issues. If you're dealing with rejection, I think that for some of you, you go into hermit mode and you just think about things differently. It's weird. It's weird that all the majors are happening here. And you have this like little pip happening as your best path to follow. And maybe this is what Spirit is wanting you to focus on. Maybe this is truly the issue that can be fixed in the present moment. Maybe you're taking on a lot of powerful energy right now, but maybe the most pressing thing is this. Whatever this is representing, whether it's financial hardships, just dealing with hardships in your life period, or dealing with, feelings of rejection, whatever it is that is difficult for you to face right now. You're not going to have a choice. I think you're going to have to deal with this. But I'm feeling like this is the stepping stone. This is where you need to start. Instead of taking on all the heavy things all at once, you start with this and you fix one problem and you go into the next, and then you solve another problem, and so on and so on. Man, Scorp. Oh, in your environment, what's up with the 5 energy? It's a good thing that temperance is there when you're looking at the 5 of Wands, because the two are connected, right? The 5 of Wands, it's petty. It's just petty nonsense, petty arguing, feelings of like dealing with competition. It just, everything is working against itself. And basically, it's one of those things where it's time for you to step up and take control of this. Whether you're dealing with people in your environment that just aren't working well together, no matter who those people are, it's going to be up to you to get control of that. And the big thing with the 5 of Pentacles, I've always said, is that no matter what you're facing, you have the ability to get yourself out of it. It's not permanent. It's not something that you need to stay stuck in. And I really do think that there is a more pressing matter in front of you right now. And, maybe some difficult emotions were like illuminated here with the moon. And, you're seeing things differently now, but, there may be a little bit of opposition toward your viewpoint too, because that does come up with the 5 of Wands. And it may be a situation here where you're just needing to be patient with these people, instead of like getting angry or vindictive or whatever. I think you holding on to the energy of temperance is going to help you deal with, whatever is coming through with that Five of Wands. But it's minor. Compared to all the major energy you're dealing with, it's minor. But it's affecting you in such a way that you're not, really sure in which way to move forward either, though, with the Hangman. And then, with the Hermit energy, I worry about you internalizing it and not really facing it, Oh, your hopes and your fears, yeah. So the Two of Swords. When you're looking at needing to make difficult decisions, you clearly see what is happening around you. I just think that you're unwilling to do anything right now, or you're fearing not making the right decision, I think is the best way to put it. Because you're just kind of staying with this kind of nonsense here with the Five of Wands and the Five of Pentacles for that matter. Something is coming to the surface with the Moon. And it's directly connected with what is happening here with the Five of Wands. And again, people opposing your viewpoint because it's changing. It's changing. But, I worry with the Hermit about you internalizing this. You don't want to go into Hermit mode and be mulling over that kind of energy. But I feel more that with Temperance above it, you start to look for the right answers. What are the right answers? But you're not really, doing anything. Which, it to me is almost like a good thing, because whatever difficult decision you're facing here with the Two of Swords, if you're not sure, you don't want to make the wrong decision. And that's where I think the fear is coming in. And maybe you do need to just chill out for a minute and see things differently. That, or you're dealing with a situation here where, people may be trying to get that, people are trying to get you to hear them, and maybe you just need to stop for a minute and listen to the other viewpoints, and maybe that'll help with what you're searching for here. But I do think that this is the most important thing to be dealing with. You can't just sit back here and not deal with this energy that's happening around you. You're going to have to, but maybe the right way to deal with this is to just stop and think for a minute and maybe listen to what is being said to you, before you actually make any clear-cut decisions. Oh, and then the outcome, the Six of Cups, walking away from the past. That's the big thing for me when I look at this card. It is about joyful memories and nostalgia. But this woman is grown up, and she's walking away from the childhood. She's okay with the memories of the past, but now it's time to start growing up and moving forward. So, when you're looking at the Moon, especially with what is going on with you emotionally, man, the majors though, things are changing for you in such a way where you're not allowing your emotions to overcome you, especially with Temperance underneath there. Whatever emotional turmoil is going on, things are changing here with the Six of Cups. You come out of this, with that wisdom, right? There is a different knowledge coming through to you. And it's easier for you now to start moving forward into the future. But, and then the other thing for me, though, too, is the emotional upheaval that I keep hearing that with the Moon. Whatever it is that, is coming out in regards to that, again, it teeters for me. I feel like I'm talking to some people who need to just stop for a minute and listen to the viewpoints of others and try to get them to, work together here. Like, okay, you're all talking at once, one at a time. Just one at a time, so that I can start to process this and see things differently, right? But then there's also the feeling here where there's, people that are opposing your viewpoint because it's changing in such a major way. you know? And it may cause people to like walk away from you, but if that's the case, then, was it really, were they really that important? I hate saying it that way, but, like I've said to my son so many times before, when people call him a faggot or treat him badly because he's gay, I always tell him, these people are not going to be in your life forever. They're the ones that are going to have to deal with the consequences of acting in that way and surrounding themselves with that kind of energy. It will not be important in the future, and it's not something you should hang on to either. You know, somebody from the past, somebody from the past. Oh my goodness. I'm glad that I did that. So the King of Cups. Now, I don't see this as Scorpio. For me as a reader, I see the Queen of Cups as your own energy. When you're looking at the King of Cups, I think for some of you, you are dealing with possibly another water sign from the past. And you are walking away from it now. Things are getting balanced out. And I think that that may have been the reason why there was this emotional upheaval. My goodness. My goodness. And you may have dealt with rejection. Oh, wow, Scorp, this like totally took a different turn. I mean, the same message still applies for some of you, but now things got a little specific. When you're looking at justice, for me, I've always said, especially when it comes to relationships, now that King of Cups, this could be a past lover. It could be a childhood friend from the past, parent, work relationship, whatever it is. When you're looking at justice, it is fairness and balance within a relationship, no matter what that relationship is. And I say that because it is the card of Libra, and Libra rules the seventh house, having to do with relationships, right? But these things are being balanced out now. And I think for some of you, you may be seeing the situation differently. Where in the past, there may have been a lot of confusion around the emotions involving this person. You're walking away from that now. Things are being a little bit more balanced out with this person, or you are walking away from this person and finding your balance. It's one of the two. But, you come out of hermit mode and you go into, being okay with the past because you've seen it differently now. There's an understanding. There's an enlightenment happening. My goodness. This is going to be one of those weeks that's going to be, major for you. If you're making, some different decisions here when you're looking at the Hangman of the Two of Swords, whatever decisions you do come to, I think that for some of you, it may be a situation where people are like opposing it. They're opposing it. But you're in a spot where, yeah, you're reconnecting with spirit and it is flowing all the way around you. Just be in the moment, right? Stay in the present moment. And mystery, seeing the mystery in life. My God. Whew, this one's heavy. All right, Scorp. Whew. We're going to take a look at the romance angels to see what is going on for you guys in terms of relationships. My goodness. This one it's like a gut punch with all the majors that you're seeing. And then this like pip energy. It's minor. It's so minor. Is it really going to be that important in the future? And if somebody is saying something that's going against how you think or how you feel, Temperance is just saying that you need to be patient. And maybe you do need to hear it. It's one of those things where it's almost like you can't just have selective hearing. You know what I'm saying? You can't just pick out things and that's all you hear. Now, for me, I don't see this as, you needing to retreat from the relationship. This is more about you and your partner needing to kind of back away from the world for a while and take some time out for just you, right? There's so many major things that may be happening with you that, within a relationship, maybe it's time for you to just be, and if you are in a relationship with another person, I think you're looking at the past energy differently. I think maybe you're opening up to their viewpoint too, in terms of a relationship when you're looking at this reading, and there's some balance. There is some balance coming out of this. Woo, Scorp. There's a couple of different things going on here. The energy is like, woo, man, it's like heavy. But at the same time, it's heavy in a way where, your spirituality is really shining through here between the Hangman and the Hermit, and then seeing Temperance. My goodness. And where you come out at emotionally, you look like you're in a very good spot, which is good to see. All right, Scorpio, really, with the majors, really? Now, seeing the moon as the past coming through, and then you have, Temperance, and then you have the Five of Wands happening in your environment. It's one of those situations where I think that there may have been like this emotional upheaval and some confusion surrounding your emotions involving a situation that could have to do with a person. And I think now, instead of, letting those emotions confuse you or continue to put you in a spot where, you're not sure what to do, instead, you're hearing them out. I think you're starting to hear the other person out. Because again, it's like, not having that selective hearing, being open to hearing everything that the other person has to say. Now, I think you internalize it, but where you come out at looks really good, because even with the clarifiers, it looks like, you get control over your emotions, and there's a nice balance, and you're able to make clear-cut decisions. I think for some of you, you may be fearing, being in the spot here, like, what do I do? What do I do? I don't want to go back to that feeling. And maybe it's because you faced a rejection. This reading totally took on different feelings as soon as I pulled out those clarifiers, and I'm glad I did, because at first I was like, well, it doesn't make sense. Why is all this major stuff happening if you're dealing with such minor energy? And basically it's Spirit telling you that, you may have felt this way, but with the Hangman above that, you need to see it differently. It's not what it seems to be. It's almost like, you may have felt it. Like, there's no denying that with it showing up there. But were you really full on rejected or cast aside? And I think that you're having a little bit more patience with what they're saying to you. And what they're saying to you may be opposing the way that you have felt in the past. And again, if it has to do with a person here, things look good. You're walking away from that past energy now of being confused about your emotions. And it may be surrounding this person. Either way, where you come out at looks really good. But the energy, really, with the majors, whew, it's good. I'm glad that the moon is the past coming through, because it's saying that there's not going to be, obviously there's not going to be any more confusion in regards to the way that you're feeling about a person, right? Or feeling about a situation involving other people. Whether it's one person you're dealing with or multiple people, looking at the Five of Wands. But you're being smart, you're being wise, right? But then when you're looking at faith, having your faith restored in a situation, but it's because you're hearing the other person differently now. Now, Spirit is all the way, and I mean all the way around you. It's all over you, right? Just be in the moment. Just be in the moment. Just let the situation happen the way that it needs to. And again, Scorpio, it's funny. You, Virgo, and Libra, I have a feeling that this is going to be like one of the big messages this week for everybody. Go with the flow. Go with the flow of things. Just be within the flow of the events that are unfolding. You know, be in the flow of your place in the universe right now. That is the best advice for you. Reconnect with spirit. Always good advice, but then seeing the mystery in life, oh, yeah, it's amazing. It's beautiful energy. Now, for those of you in terms of relationships, passion and soulmate for the singles, you're meeting your soulmate and there's passion and there's a reason to be happy, which is beautiful. It's perfect. And again, there was that soulmate energy too, looking at last week's reading, where this was an important relationship. Now, retreat and the hermit, right? Maybe you're not taking that journey alone. Maybe you and your partner need to retreat, especially for those of you who are meeting your soulmate, right? It's beautiful energy, and I do think that Scorpio, if you dealt with relationship issues, looking at last week's reading, coming into this week, you're doing things in such a different way, and you're opening up to hearing what the other person has to say.